I am live now, and let's set a good intention that I stay live. All right, let me go and take a look on here while you are joining. Sorry, okay, I am here, yay. I'm gonna keep an eye here for any comments down in case they don't show up here. So, all right, yay, so excited. Today is, yeah, it's Monday, October 25th, and this is day one of Discover Your Archetypes. Day one of 3. So, who has heard of the archetypes? Say hello if you are here, if you are joining, and if you are watching the replay, hashtag replay. So, all right, so today we are going to be talking about the archetypes, what they are. And so there's, you may hear the archetypes in different contexts. So, and this may be different than anything you ever heard, or maybe you've heard things a little bit before and you're like, I'm not really sure, but there's something, there's a reason that you are here. Some part of you knew or knows that there's something you're going to get by tuning into this class today, and maybe all 3 of the classes. All right, so let me just get to my notes. As I said, when I had a bunch of people saying yes to the event, I created an event. I'm going to do that tomorrow, the next couple days too, to remind people. And also, if you are watching and you did not register for this, I put a link in the comments. And if you register, you will make sure you get the replays. And if you're not watching live and you're watching the replays, if you try to watch within, as soon as you can right after, because I'm going to also be offering some really awesome gifts and prizes for people for maybe different things each day. We'll see. So let me just introduce myself in case for those of you that either don't know me or are new, that are new to me. So I'm NancyAnger, not anger, even though it looks like that. NancyAnger. I'm an intuitive coach and a master energy healer and the founder of Embrace Your Archetypes, the sacred keys to a well-loved life. So I'm just so excited to share this powerful information, and as you will soon see, the archetypes are at play everywhere in your life. If you have a business, your career, or whatever you're doing in your world, your relationships, your health, even your money, whether you realize it or not. And the thing is, for most people, the archetypes are running in the background, unaware, unconsciously. I think Plato might have been the first person that actually ever started talking about the archetypes, and then Carl Jung is another famous person. I actually learned about them in 2002 when I went to energy medicine school, and it changed my life, literally. And I didn't know it at the time. At the time I learned to create. So the way I teach and what I learned was that we all are born with 12 archetypes that are unique to us. There are 4 that everyone has, that we all have in common, which I'll be sharing about on day 3. Those are powerful. Carolyn Mace calls them our survival archetypes. But of course, what is the opposite of survival is thriving. So when we learn about those, we become more aware of like old programming, things that we might do automatically that we maybe did at certain points in our life because we thought, hey, it's gonna help us, but it's not anymore. So anyway, that's day 3. I'm getting way ahead of myself. So if you find this valuable, I love to share. My intention is to just really share with as many people as possible this content. And so I put a link in the comments, and if you share it with someone else, if you share it on your page or Instagram somewhere, just let me know where you share it and I will enter you to win Today's prize that I'll pick the winner tomorrow at the beginning of day 2's class. How do you win a prize? You win a prize by by sharing the link to the masterclass and just say, hey, whatever is true for you. Like, if you're interested, or I love this, or this, come check out this free class, or whatever it is. So if you share it, and as many times you share it, if you share it in different places, you will be entered that many times as well, and you will get, I don't know if I said it, I will send you a deck of Carolyn Mace Archetype cards, which I don't have right in front of me. I have them near me, but I'm all wired up, so I'm not going to share those right now. So let me know in the comments, say hello, whether you're watching now or later. I see some likes, some people are watching, say hello. Because the second thing I'm going to be giving before we dive in is I'm going to be offering free to it, probably at least I think one person per day, for people that are like the most participant, or just kind of the most seem excited and are sharing, like that are interactive. Even if you're interactive after the live and you're just watching the video, which is so powerful, I will pick one person per day to also get a 20-minute, like an archetypes discovery or alignment call, so we can dive in a little bit deeper for yourself of how the archetypes can help you. So, all right, so let me get in. All right, hi, Anna. Okay, I'm seeing the comments now. Hi, Jessica, Maureen, Cindy, yay, hello. Hi, so thanks for popping on. So let me know if you have heard of the archetypes or not. So just yes or no, even if it's just a little bit. All right, so a couple reasons I'm bringing this masterclass to you right now. One, as I said, this is, or maybe I didn't say, but it is my passion. I love to learn. That's part of my master archetype. And hello, I see more people joining. Thank you. Okay, Jessica, thank you for sharing. Awesome. You will get the drawing to win the Carolyn Mace deck. Awesome. They're really cool. They're really fun. All right. So thank you. Hi, Christy. All right, Anna. Hello. All right. Yay. All right. So I love to learn, and I love to learn deeply. So I used to say, oh, I'm jack of all trades and master of none. And what I learned was actually I'm a master of many things. And that's like the part of me that loves to learn, but I'm also a guide, a teacher, right? A guide is a form of teacher, and I love to teach and share. So it feeds my soul. So literally, when we kind of learn about our archetypes and we get in touch with them, we are in touch with the things that literally light us up and feed our soul. And some of those things, which I'll share about more tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about how to uncover your own archetypes more so. But and some of them are things, maybe could be parts of yourself that you have been either denying or pushing away a little bit, or not seeing, but when you see them, you actually realize, wow, that's actually a gift. Because anything we're pretending we don't see, or we're kind of fogging out to a little bit, it's still there. Kind of like our emotions, right? So. All right, so the other piece is that I am opening the doors to my signature course. This is Embrace Your Archetypes, the Sacred Keys for a Well-Lived Life. So I'll just be sharing more about that a little bit later on. So if that's something you want to hear a little bit more about, I'll be sharing more about that at the end. Yeah, but for now, let's dive into the archetypes. So even just knowing one of your archetypes really can help you unlock more of your potential, your purpose, and really to discover and own and appreciate and understand yourself in a whole new way, which is really awesome. Okay, and Jessica shared 20 times. Wow. Oh, somebody was very excited for those cards. Thanks so much for sharing. Yay. All right, so anyway, yeah, let me know where you shared those 20 times, but Anyway, thank you for sharing. I love it. That is awesome. Okay, so, and again, so I'm going to share this information, and then later on, I'm going to, whether you decide to continue after this 3-day masterclass, my intention is that you receive some really powerful life-changing information. And then also, I mentioned earlier, if you were on yet, that I'm also a master energy healer. So some guides, teachers are teachers. I am that, but I also work with energy. So part of what I bring when I'm talking to you now or during my courses or whatever is the energy piece. So some things you will hear, but energy is, we are energetic beings, and that energy is being conveyed between us. So there are things that you will probably come to light, even that you might not have even heard me say. So which is so cool. Now I'm going to just say too, don't worry about trying to remember things. Just trust that you're receiving whatever you need to receive and let the rest go, because there's a lot of information. Just let yourself receive it. And with that being said, just take a nice breath. Nice breath in and exhale out. All right. So what are the archetypes? In a nutshell, they're universally understood descriptions of something. For example, when you say a queen, okay, yeah, when you say the queen archetype, which happens to be one of mine, it's actually the first archetype that I really knew that I had for myself. So, but when I say queen, you kind of get an idea of what that means. Or when I say a teacher, you know what that means. You understand it. Or a mother. So it's like a universally understood description or meaning that overall, when it's said, something comes to mind. It's like a collective energy, right? So if you have a particular archetype, you are tapped into that collective energy of that archetype. So the archetypes can evolve over time too. So if you think about like mother is one archetype, and if we thought of the mother archetype 100 years ago, it would probably look a little different. There would be some things now, but if we looked at mother archetype in the past, I don't know, whatever, 10, 20 years, right? There's a lot of there's more stay-at-home dads, right? Dad, there can be Mr. Mom. That a guy can have an archetype that sounds like a female archetype, the mother archetype. And as I say that, there's like a whole lot of other stuff that can go with that. So, but I'm just talking, so basically, I'm not talking about gender in general here. I'm just saying that archetypes are evolving over time. So the mother archetype today has evolved to look different than what the mother archetype, or to include more aspects. So, and you can have an archetype like, say, the mother archetype, even if you're not a mother. My neighbor, she's 88 years old, she's a farmer, she's never had children, but she has cows, and the cows are her children. She mothers the cows. So, and if you have the mother archetype, and if you have children, it might activate more of your mother aspect, but it doesn't mean you have that as one of your primary. Again, that's a little bit more about tomorrow, but we'll go deeper with that tomorrow. But I've always been curious about people and the way the connections work between, between things since my teenage years. So I've studied a lot of different ways of understanding myself and other people. So it was 10 years ago in energy medicine school that, as I said, or 11 years actually, 2010, that I discovered the archetypes. And I knew, and as soon as I started learning about them, I realized, wow, this is really powerful. It not only helped me understand myself, but it helped me to understand others. And I also, over the 4 years I was there at energy medicine school, I learned about my own archetypes. And then the 4th year I was a teacher's assistant, where I helped other people to understand and create their charts and their archetypes. So as I'm saying these, a little bit about the archetypes, you might want to think, is there something that comes to mind about yourself or other people that you know in your life? Like I knew early on, so some things we might know early on, and some things might be obvious. Like when I knew I had the teacher archetype, that's something I've known for a long time, that I was a teacher, but I didn't know it was an archetype. So became very different when I really started to understand that. But other people could see that in me the whole time. I remember I taught aerobics for a little while when I was 19. And then I remember, like years later, I was probably in my early 30s, we went camping and I went and took a water aerobics class. And I had never taken water aerobics before, even though I taught like regular aerobics, like, 15 years before that or something. So I took the class. It was really fun. I went back the next day. I'm like, I'm going to take that again. And so I'm in the pool. There's some other people from the day before, and the teacher doesn't show up. And we're like, where's the teacher? At least two people in that pool looked straight at me and said, would you teach the class? We'd like you to teach the class. They saw it. They saw my teacher. I didn't have a sticker on me that said teacher. They somehow, I have that energy. So you have the energy of your archetypes in your field, the language you speak, the words you speak. You just don't know it yet, right? And that's something that I've honed over the past 11 years. It was something just very naturally because I had a natural passion for it, and it's been in the past probably 3 or 4 years that I've specifically developed it and realized, I would love to teach this. I could teach this to people. Like, it's something I naturally love to do. So I've taught Embrace Your Archetypes twice, and this is going to be the 3rd time. But I've been talking about it and literally just naturally teaching as part of life. So why is it important to know your archetypes, or to start to connect with them? So some of the experiences I've had with some people, one of my friends, I was having breakfast or lunch with a friend that was my age a few years ago, and I was sharing with her something that was going on in my life, and she was kind of worried about me. She was like, she was worried I was making some bad decisions. And to be truthfully, I was. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But I was kind of probably not making the best decision in something at that particular time. And I could see she was worried about me. And I said, Judy, I said, you have the mother archetype. And she looked at me and she said, oh, thank you so much for sharing that. She said, I was feeling so weird. I was sitting here feeling like I wanted to mother you, like you were my child, like I wanted to, I was worried about you. And she said, that makes me feel so much better. So it was like this light bulb went off for her that she really understood. And so I know part of this, the title of this, Discover Your Archetypes, Awaken Your Highest Potential, right? And your purpose, right? So our purpose is not a job, but when we start to understand how these archetypes are at play in our life, and really, I like that word play I just used, because like, what makes us have fun? Like, what things bring you joy? Like play. It's about playing and experimenting and exploring. And by the way, a little spoiler before day 3, the child archetype is one that we all have. And we'll share more about that one on day 3. But, and then what about people that aren't owning their archetypes? Well, that can have a huge impact on your life. I remember hearing years ago a story from Carolyn Mace. So Carolyn Mace is, as I mentioned, the deck of cards. She's someone that's also very known about teaching about the archetypes for, I don't know how many years, but quite a while. And so she shared a story about a plastic surgeon, a doctor, who, it was a man, and he grew up in a family where his parents believed that best things to be in life was a doctor or a lawyer. And he had the artist archetype, and in his family, artist, and so there's a light and a shadow in all the archetypes, right? There's a light in everything, even the weirdest sounding, nastiest, like the archetype that you look at a card and you're like, ew, I don't want that. They all have a light and a shadow. There's always a gift, and then there's a challenge. So, you've probably heard that term, the starving artist. And so that's potentially a part of the shadow of the artist, but that doesn't mean that that's how it is or has to be. That's just a challenge, right? So the archetypes in a way can be part of our life lessons, but then it also, you know, your lessons, your challenges are also the opportunities, or that show you like, oh, what is the pathway here? Oh, what is the light side of this? So this plastic surgeon had the artist archetype, and he had, you know, it was like you almost couldn't keep away that he had this artist, but he still wasn't truly satisfied. There was some, because he wasn't really owning that he had this artist part, because it wasn't acceptable in his family. Now, there are probably cosmetic surgeons out there that have the artist archetype, that have all the other pieces. They chose it, they loved it, and they're amazing. I mean, if you were going to go to a plastic surgeon, wouldn't you probably might want one that had the artist archetype, unless they were a little overly creative or whatever. But you know, so it's a beautiful thing. But when we understand what we have and that it's a gift, and we really start to honor it and embrace it. So there was a woman a few years ago that I talked to, and she was an amazing lady. She had her own business. She had a little restaurant in town, and she had a really strong vision. She, for her business, it was she had a great, you know, menu. She had a lot of great things, a great name. She also had ideas for expansion, but she was feeling really burnt out. Like there was something not aligned, something not feeling quite right for her. And so when we talked, and as I said, I work with energy. So energy is, okay, so I shared so energy is, let me just see if there's more comments. Okay, thank you for sharing, Maureen. So energy is like, it's our moods. Our energy can be in our mood, right? If we're feeling kind of blah, to feeling like, whoa. And that's a lot of times when I do energy work with people, the beginning they're feeling a certain way, and after they're feeling different. So I tune in conversations too, right? So we're chatting, and her energy, she was like, oh, she was feeling burnt out in every area of her life, really. You know, but she had these ideas for her business, but in that moment, they felt like they were up here, and it wasn't all connecting. So after a little while, she started talking and getting lively. And what she was talking about, I discovered she had the free spirit archetype. And some part of her had this story that if I bring this part of myself to my business and to my life, that's not good. Like, business owners can't have a free spirit. So she had this belief, but it wasn't serving her. And by trying to, so anytime you try to push away a part of yourself, you actually deplete your energy. It's like you have all these archetypes, like they're all things you can plug into, and when you're trying to, like, you know, ignore a part of yourself, you can lose energy. And so and it's the same with emotions or anything else, right? I remember years ago in energy medicine school, we had on third chakra weekend, we worked with releasing anger, which can be connected to the third chakra. And so, as I said earlier, my name is NancyAnger, but my last name looks like anger, and I had an issue with pushing anger down a lot and not acknowledging it. And so when I released all of that anger through this practice of hitting the table with a tennis racket and swearing and yelling and whatever, I had so much energy for like weeks after. So I was a yoga teacher at the time. I owned my own business, and I did not like vinyasa yoga per se though. And suddenly I had all this energy, and I wanted to just do vinyasa and all this stuff. And so I released this in my system. So anytime if you're trying to hold a part of yourself down, you're losing energy. And the other piece is, when you start to understand things, you acknowledge them, you start to feel more whole, and things start to make a lot more sense. So for example, I'm an introvert, even though you might not think it because I'm here talking to you right now, but I love spending time alone, and I'm kind of but I'm willing to put myself out there for sharing, and for sharing messages and things that are important to me. So But when I found out I had the Queen archetype, and I didn't see that for myself. So sometimes it's hard to see them for ourselves. But I didn't see that. My classmate, I was just learning about them, and my classmates and the teachers, they saw it in me, and I was like, whoa. And then they said, I mentioned the language earlier, they said, oh yeah, and one of them said, remember you said you stand out on your back balcony, my back porch, and survey the kingdom, and there were other languages, other things that I used that were part of it. But the other biggest piece, as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, I had been teaching yoga, and I grew that into a yoga and wellness center over a period of time. But I remember looking around, and saying, how did a hermit stay-at-home mother get here? And I don't really have the hermit, by the way. It's part of my introvert, but I was like, how did a hermit stay-at-home mother get here? And I came to realize that it was my Queen archetype. That was a huge part of it. And if you think Queen archetype, right? The Queen oversees and takes care of her queen or her kingdom, and it was the same in my family and other areas in my life. So once I discovered that, and not only did I discover that, I realized my oldest daughter had the Queen archetype. I have a granddaughter now who's 4.5. She has it. Later on, just like a year or two ago, I realized my mother had it, and I was like, Mom, I think you have the Queen. I looked at her the way she was sitting in this chair a certain way, and I said, Mom, I think you have the Queen archetype. And she goes, yes. I was like, do you think Graham had it too? She's like, yes. I'm like, oh, that explains everything. So I don't know, I have all ladies on the call. I don't know about the mother-daughter thing sometimes can be challenging, but I just was like, oh, I see that now. So by honoring, and seeing that in my mother, and that we both had it, it made a lot more sense. I've known my oldest daughter had it for at least 11 years or something like that now. And we both know it in the granddaughter, and it's really helped us to enhance our relationship with each other. So let me know. I don't know if I'm seeing any new comments, but is this resonating to you guys? Is this making sense? I would love to know if you are having some ahas as we're talking here. Yeah, let me know if this is making sense, if you're keeping pace. Hopefully, my camera's staying on. And by the way, thank you for those of you that shared, and you can still share when we're done right now. Feel free to keep listening. I got some more things to share today, but feel free after we're done this call today to share, or call, I guess, the live, to share some more. And post below. So anyways, so each person is born with your unique blend of archetypes. And as I said earlier, there are 4 that everyone has. And then there are 8 other ones that are unique to you. And they're all going to be very different. So one thing I kind of have joked or said before, I live in Massachusetts, and I know you guys are in different places. I don't know where you're all from. Feel free to share that too. I love to hear the different places that people are from. That's one of the cool things about this whole Facebook and all that. I love to learn about people in all different ways. So Tom Brady, who used to be a New England Patriot, not anymore, but he was a pretty famous football player. For people in the US know him, maybe not other places as much. I don't really know. But he's in his early 40s, and he's had an amazing career. So 2 archetypes that Tom Brady and I share is the athlete and the master. So I've been athletic for years, but I rejected that one at first because I thought it meant I was a jock, and I'm like, oh, I'm not a jock. So, but we both have the master and the athlete, but I have the adventurer archetype. So my master and I get a little bored. Things need to entertain me. So I could not be probably like Tom Brady and stick with something for as long as he has. I can stick with stuff for a while until I really master it, but then my adventurer calls me off to play. So some of the ways that has shown up for me is since I turned 50, which was 9 years ago, I have done flying trapeze classes and acro yoga and even pole dancing, right? So that is my adventurer and my athlete having a party. So it's like when you know this stuff about, it's like you awaken some more, like some other new like layer of permission or just really understanding. It's like having this puzzle and you got the pieces, but it's like it finally clicks into place. And it's like, oh my goodness, everything just makes so much more sense now. And as I said, now you can probably understand a little bit now how these are influencing every single thing in your life, and you chose them. You might think, oh, how did I choose them? Before you were born as a soul, when you came in, like, what are the things I this mission and in this human body? And I believe that we chose them. And as I said, once we come into being, it's kind of up to us to notice and learn how to play or how to use these tools. And so there's not really a right or a wrong necessarily way to do it. But it's like it's a journey. But as we start to become more aware that this is a part of things that we chose for a purpose, it really empowers them. It becomes more fun. Okay. So as I said before, I didn't know about my queen archetype till I even learned about archetypes. And I've had people I went to energy medicine school. There was one woman that went to energy medicine school, learned about archetypes, and it was just, I think a year or two ago, I was with her and I realized, I said, you have the queen archetype. And she didn't even realize it. I kind of joke because I'm like, you're pretending you're the scullery maid over there, my dear, but you have the queen. And she realized, she's like, I really do. And she realized her husband has the knight, which my husband has the knight too. So, you know, like when you think about the royal families, right? It's really like an energetic thing as well. So I am the queen, my husband has the knight. And of course the queen could be married to a king, but I have a knight, and my oldest daughter who has the queen, her husband has the knight archetype as well. So it's really so cool, and to really start to understand this stuff, it's just really, really fun. So let me see if there's anything else to share about this today. So, well, you can start to, like, some archetypes are really obvious. Like one thing I pointed out, I think like last year or something, so the politician archetype, right? That's an archetype. However, Donald Trump, people have a lot of different opinions about him. He did not have the politician archetype, the king, right? Speaking of royal archetypes. And if you notice, he did not behave in the way that typical, and it's not, I don't want to say typical because every person is different and but many other presidents, you can see that they had the politician archetype and other politicians, but you can probably clearly see that Donald Trump did not. He had the king. So that can probably give you a little idea there of how these can play out, and how once you start to see them, it becomes obvious. And by the way, I realized within the past year that my mother-in-law has the queen and her husband has the king archetype. And so it's not only fun and interesting, but it is really helpful and useful, because as I said, like the woman that owned her own business, when she realized she had the free spirit archetype, right? And I brought that to her awareness, and it was the next time I don't think I talked to her for quite a while after that. But when I talked to her, like the next time I talked to her, things had really shifted in a really good way. So, all right, so let's see. All right, so when you really start to understand, though, the archetypes, it really, you understand your motivation and your inspiration for things, which is powerful, right? Because and I think, yeah, it can be very subtle. So, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, I have the adventurer archetype. So, like my husband will kind of be like, oh, you like hotels instead of camping or that kind of stuff. And I was like, well, if you make the camping an adventure, my adventurer will perk right up and want to go. So if you know what motivates yourself, right, or others, you know, what it is, what feeds your soul, that's like even creating business. Like I've had my own business for probably since 2002, so February, so it's almost 20 years. And the more I've come to understand about things, and I really created my business from what I loved. Like I didn't know about my archetypes at that point when I first started for the first 8 years that I had my business, but I was tuned in enough to follow what I loved. And so when I added in the knowledge about the archetypes, it just empowered it even more. And it empowers everything in your life. So let me know if this is resonating. And then the thing is really uncovering who you are underneath. And the more you understand and accept yourself and others. So in tomorrow's class, we're going to start to uncover your unique blend of archetypes. And as I said, they inform, inspire, and influence everything in your life, every choice you make. So tomorrow we're going to go into the powerful ripple effect that is created in your energy and out into the universe through your archetypes. And the more you start to see and understand, the more you bring in intention, right? I'm sure you've had experience of when you understand something or you decide something, that energy just becomes so powerful. And so there are literally thousands of archetypes to choose from. I'm going to share a link in the comments. It's Carolyn Mace link, so you can get started. You can take a look at that and just start to look. Again, don't get overwhelmed. There's a lot of archetypes, and that's part of the reason why I love doing this work, is to help people uncover their own. I don't do it for you so much, although sometimes I'm like, whoa, you have this archetype. So, but bring the list to, take a look tomorrow, take a look at the link and just let me know and see, I think I might have this archetype. So let's do just a quick meditate, just a short. So close your eyes for a minute. Take a nice breath in and out. And as you exhale, let go. Let's do 3 breaths. Another breath in. And exhale out through the mouth. Let's do 1 more in. And exhale out. And just dropping down into your heart. I'm just going to set the intention that the information that came through today, your archetypes, that your archetypes will start to, you'll start to be able to see and become more aware of archetypes at play in your life. I'm just going to keep that simple. Good. You can say thank you. And so it's interesting because I've had experiences myself now over the years where I suddenly realized, for example, when I realized that I had the guide archetype, I knew I had part of a teacher one, but I realized, oh, I think I have the guide. I think that's my flavor. So there's guide, mentor, teacher. And a little while later, I went downstairs and my cleaning lady, Diva, was here at the time. She came up to me, and I'm kidding you not, she came up, she put her hands on my shoulders, and she said, Nancy, you are my guide, okay? This is how it works. This is how it works for me anyway. But you can set the intention to start becoming more aware. So becoming like your own little detective, and that's an archetype, by the way. Just be curious. So thanks for hopping on. I hope this awakens something new. There's a lot more to come in the next 2 days. And in a minute, I'm going to share a little bit more about my upcoming, my course that starts next week. Yeah. So with some amazing early bird bonuses. So first, just a reminder, if you share the link to the masterclass, if you liked it and you share it, just share below that you shared it and where, and I will, you can enter enter to win in the Archetypes cards, a free deck. Again, people, when you're engaged, I'm going to look through and someone, some lucky winner that's been here and listening and engaging is going to win a free Archetypes discovery session, and I will announce those tomorrow. Again, 2 more days, so I'm going to share just a little now about about embrace your archetypes, the sacred keys to a well-loved life. So if your brain is full, I will be sharing the link in the comments, but if you want to hear more about the course, I'm going to share right now. So again, since I've been learning about the archetypes since 2010, it's been a really amazing unfolding journey, just watching people bloom and awaken and realize, because really it's realizing about your gifts. It's a powerful way to understand your gifts and yourself. And no one is the same. That's why, like cookie cutter stuff doesn't work, right? So, and it's an unfolding journey. So a couple of things. So the course starts November 4th. It's going to be 8 weeks plus some bonuses. So some of the bonuses are calling back all of you activation. So this is going to help you. It's an energetic activation. It's recorded. You can listen to it more than once if you want to. You will get this right away when you register. It helps clear programs, vows, and beliefs, and reconnects you back into the truth of who you are. And you'll also do a special journey to meet your personal archetype guides who are here to support, empower, and in fulfilling your deepest purpose. And then there's the value is 222. Another one for 222 value archetype chakra balance meditation, using the Divine Mother, the Divine Child, again working with your 12 archetypes and also aligning and balancing your chakras. So really powerful. It leaves you deeply renewed and relaxed. Then we will have a bonus Q&A call. Of course, you can ask questions throughout the course as well. Everything is recorded if people can't make it live. And now this is like even more. So right now there is early bird pricing until October 1st, right? Which is maybe a week or a little bit less than a week. Yeah, like I don't know what day October 1st is, but I'm also offering a VIP extra a 1 hour powerful one-on-one archetype alignment session plus a 20-minute follow-up. So these transformational sessions give you the individual guidance and support you need. In addition to what you will get in the group, you'll get access to me through the Facebook and the live trainings. But these sessions are powerful, the one-on-one. And so individual guidance and support to break through to a new level. So right now to work with me one-on-one is like thousands of dollars, literally $5,000-$6,000 where my like one-on-one pricing starts. This gives you opportunity to do some one-on-one with me as well as the course. And right now, if you register by October 1st, November 1st, this will be free. You will get this free as a bonus. It does not say it on the page, I don't think, unless she might have added it on there. I didn't even look. She literally just finished the page a little while ago. Even if it doesn't say it, you get it free. If you purchase after that, there is a link to purchase and add the VIP. It's not a lot extra to get that powerful extra coaching, which is valued at $777. Two other things to know. Well, one other thing. So the VIP, and then you can also get an extra bonus of $100 off if you do pay in full by October 3rd, and the code is early100. So early100. So it's an extra $100 off the early bird and the free VIP. So when you register by November 1st, but even if you miss the November 1st deadline, you still get an extra $100 off when you use early100 by November. I keep saying October. I wrote October, that's why. November 3rd. if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to be sharing this link in, actually I'll share it at the top. And yeah, I'm going to share it in the I'll share it in the comments, and I'll share it at the top. So thank you for joining me today. It's been really fun. I just love sharing this information. I'm so excited. Tomorrow is day 2. Tomorrow is at a different time. Tomorrow is at 4:30 Eastern Daylight Time. So I will see you then. I will be sharing the links, and have a beautiful rest of your day.